Stakeholders within the tourism, home affairs, gender affairs, and national security sectors convened today at the Dolphin Conference Room of the Bay Gardens Beach Resort to discuss proposed guidelines to prevent sexual exploitation of migrant women and girls within Saint Lucia's tourism sector. A key focal point of the meeting was also for individuals to be aware of telltale signs that an individual may be a victim of human trafficking. Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Home Affairs and National Security, Elizabeth Bailey, says despite no known cases of human trafficking in Saint Lucia, the department stands firm in the ideology that they may be vigilant to dangerous implications of human trafficking on the island.
The OAS has partnered with the government of Saint Lucia and the British government to deliver this workshop in preparation within the hospitality and tourism sector, in preparation for victims, identification of victims within the sector. It doesn't mean that we are aware of victims, trafficking victims within the sector, but we have to make preparations and develop a framework so that in case we identify victims of trafficking or in case there is human trafficking within the tourism sector, that we'll be ready to receive them and to give them the necessary support.
Chief of Session with the Department of Violence and Crime with the Organization of American States, Anna Ushoa, says the overarching objective is for the framework of recommendations to accurately represent St. Lucia's actual situation with regard to human trafficking and sexual exploitation.
Our expectation is to gather the most comments possible for this framework to reflect the reality of St. Lucia in this realm of the sexual exploitation of women and girls in the tourism sector.
Bailey notes these guidelines will be used within the tourism sector to identify cases of human trafficking and be circulated to officials within the tourism industry for further dialogue on the subject before a final draft is submitted for review.
The guidelines basically will be used within the tourism sector as a framework for identification and for protecting victims in case we find any victims within the sector. After the guidelines have been dealt with or discussed in this session, what we plan to do is to circulate it throughout the tourism sector and to get feedback from the various stakeholders so that we can get buy-in when it is finally approved, that people will know how to use it and what to do in case they identify a victim within the sector.
Bailey emphasized the department's wish to not infringe upon the human rights of individuals within the tourism sector. This, she notes, was the main reason for sharing the guidelines with stakeholders for the future should such a case be brought to our shores. The stakeholders met on Thursday, February 29, 2024. For Choice News Now, I am Chelsea Austinay.